up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It has been about a month or so since I've actually been able to post a video covering any project on the channel. We have some stuff, quite a bit of stuff actually, to get to. As you can see, we're in the Mustang. I just started it, fixed a lot of issues, and I'm letting it warm up. And then I'm going to take a drive and then park the car somewhere, let it run a little bit, because it's been a while since I've been able to. This is like the first time I've driven it in probably over 2 months. So we're going to do that. I'm going to find a little spot, we're going to park it, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about what has been done and what is the next thing, and we're going to talk a little about the 4Runner. But this video obviously mainly consists of the Mustang, so let's go ahead and get into this. Real quick, as you can see, one of the big changes is what's in front of the windshield, and my view is there's a different hood on this car as well, and something a lot cleaner in the car too that we've been going over for a long time, and it's finally been done. All right, everyone, we're gonna jump right into this video. I found basically the usual spot I go to film these things. There's no cars in the parking lot, so it worked out perfectly. We're gonna go over the Mustang first, obviously. Then I'll do like maybe 45 seconds on the 4Runner and talk about what's with that. But jumping into the Mustang right now, let's do that. All right, so walking around the car, if you're an OG to this channel or you've been following this build along and remember the previous videos, they're pretty much, as you can see, some definite changes to the car. The car is dirty. I just picked it up from Mike's last night as I was out of town for work and then the military training and all that. So I just got back. The car hasn't been driven much because of the heater core issue. And then now the car sat there at his house where it was started a couple times and stuff to make sure it ran properly, and the stuff that had been done to it, the battery had to be disconnected anyways. But I'm just letting it run just to do it, just put some good 93 in it, filled it up all the way. So we're gonna start off in the trunk. As you can see, the exhaust hasn't been put on yet, and the boxes right there are the UPR upper and lower control arms. So those have not been put on yet, but the side scoops, the original GT side scoop with the carbon driven pieces, they are in the car. So I do have some leftover stuff. I probably will just keep them. I doubt they're worth anything. These are the new exhaust mufflers, or the MBRP exhaust kit. It's all clamped up and stuff like that, ready to go. Or sorry, has the clamps for it to be put on and ready to go. We're switching from a Borla to the MBRP, and that's going to be getting rid of the quad tips. I will not be selling the quad tips or this bumper, but I just want to go back to the single tip look. I think it's probably just going to flow a little better, change it up a little bit, look cleaner. As we come around to the car, like I said, the car is dirty. If you remember last year, both of these rear quarter glass windows were leaking, and I went ahead and purchased these for like 30 bucks off somebody back in November. And then Mike found these. He went to find, there was a New Edge that had the silver, but the one he went to the junkyard to go get those, the front sail panels or the pillars, this side right here was pretty like jacked up. So he went ahead and found, I guess, the closest color, as you can, gray versus silver. But it really doesn't matter. The car is going to be painted anyways, but these were in such immaculate condition that he pretty much just went ahead and snagged them for 20 bucks, both sides. So we put those on, fixed any issues or leaks that we had where it was leaking through the gasket right here. The downside is I still have to get these windows tinted, and the driver and passenger, I'll probably have to replace the motor. The window works, it just doesn't go up and down like super fast, I guess, but that really doesn't matter right now. But the leaks are fixed, so we can take the car to the car wash without being sprayed everywhere inside, hopefully. Oh yeah, so the scoops, he went ahead, I actually forgot that I had these. They just probably have to be repainted. You see little scratches and stuff. He actually pulled these from a junkyard too. Again, the car is dirty. But these, so the stock ones, if anybody didn't know and anybody wanted to switch, these pop right off because they're clips. These bolt in, which I did not know. So these are actually OEM Celine side scoops. They are functional, or the functional ones, which is cool. I was on the fence about it. That's why I never did anything with it. And he texted me when I came back. I just checking up on the car because I was going to pick it up the next day. And he was like, yeah, put your side scoops on. And I thought he was talking about these at first. I was like, oh, yeah, those, yeah. And then he was like, no, your Celine side scoops. I forgot they were in the trunk. So he went ahead and just put those on anyways. And I have no complaints about it. They look a lot better. So this is just from the hood cutting. Basically, so let's get into this. This is the True Fiber cowl hood. It is a 3-inch cowl. I didn't want to go with a 4-inch just because I think it looks not tacky, but a little too much. I think the 3 is the perfect, the perfect look or whatever. I have had the 2.5 with the Cobra R hood twice before, the one from Boss Inc. and Cervini's. And the hood before this also had the 2.5-inch raised kind of cowl almost. Or it might have been a 2-inch. It was a True Fiber as well. I still have that hood. It's actually posted for sale. So I'm debating, if I don't get kind of the price that I want to sell. There's nothing wrong with the hood whatsoever. It's in really great condition. It's just dirty as the car's been sitting. So if somebody wants to buy it, it just has to be prepped and painted as it came the same look as this. And just these come kind of ready to prep and paint, I guess, but I would still sand this down before priming and painting. You can see just any little mark or dirt gets on it, it kind of just shows. So, but it is a True Fiber hood, the cowl hood. The cover is not jacked up anymore, leaning. The hoses were fixed, and the reason we had to cut it and all that, the white dust from the hood, as you can see, it's been notched like the other one, is the power box. So we thought about before cutting it, because it is a brand new hood, if we could move the power box any down or anything like that, but it has this back bracket, as you can see, where it sits up. And honestly, I don't really care. The Cobra R hoods from Cervini's come notched in the metal anyways from the molding that they have, so it's not a big deal. I've seen a lot worse. It's a fully functional heat extractor, so it gets a little more air, I guess. And then as you come to the back, I'll push it down a little bit. You can see the mesh right there, or whatever it is. It's metal. You can see that. So it's a cool little view. I've never had a cowl hood, honestly, before. Don't know why I never did. I think at this point I've had every style new edge hood you can have, from the V6 to the Cobra R. There's Cervini's Cobra R style, just a regular Cobra R, the Boss Inc. Cobra R. I've had a carbon fiber Terminator one, an actual OEM Terminator hood. The GT hood came with this car, and the Celine styled hood from the previous hood that was on this car. And that's honestly all I can think of. Maybe besides like the Stalker hoods or whatever, but I'm not a fan of that look. Again, people were like, why are you switching hoods, blah blah blah. I just think it looks more aggressive, and people were saying with yesterday, the people that when I went to pick up the car, the Celine side scoops do flow with the previous hood with the scoops, because it is kind of that in-between Terminator Celine style heat extractor hood. But again, you can even, if you want to leave a comment below and say what you think, I think this just looks much better. I think it's more aggressive. It fits that 99 to 01 Cobra front bumper. I don't know. To me, I've always kind of just wanted one, but I've always talked myself out of it and went with a different style hood. But I think I'm pretty much happy with this. Once it's painted, this whole car is painted. That is the last thing to do right now, besides boosting it, is to do that. It's gonna look so damn good. So getting back to under the hood. So these hoods actually do work with the aftermarket hood props, or hood latch, the hood latch. And then your issue. Oh, there you go. So this little clamp right here was missing somehow off that. So Mike nor I did not know that. And the pressure on this should be around 60 pounds of PSI for the fuel. It was down to 47, and luckily I didn't drive the car that much. I made maybe 4 or 5 videos through the winter, especially because of the heater core was bad in this car. And just, it was, warmer days in the winter. There was gas built up in the bottom right here somewhere sitting, so it only had 47 pounds. So I didn't know that at all. Neither one of us did. I don't know where the clamp, I think the clamp or the hose ripped or something, so that's fixed. And that's the thing that I love about it. When Mike kind of just goes through and he just finds stuff and fixes it, and we find little, you pay for good service, basically. You pay the money. You pay the money for somebody that you know is going to take care of you. And he knows his car in and out. He's the only one that's built this car correctly, fixed any issues, and even issues to this day, finding something like that. So that's always one thing to keep in mind. If you trust somebody, you know, make sure to take care of them. You know, that's just how I feel. So we're moving away from this. I'm just gonna leave the hood open. We're gonna switch. We're probably gonna keep the intake. I talked about that in a previous video. So this video is gonna be a little bit longer of just me walking around talking. So hopefully you make it to the end. Nothing has changed in the back of the car or anything like that besides the stuff in the trunk. Now, the biggest thing that we wanted to talk about was, yes, the car is running, but it has that new SVE starter, which is a bigger starter from LMR, or Late Model Restoration. That factory, well, not factory, but the factory kind of starter from AutoZone, which was a shit one anyways. It was just, I think, overheating next to the headers. So I didn't order a heat blanket or like a heat wrap for like the headers. So I went ahead and ordered one yesterday. Should be here tomorrow. Once we finish everything on the car, go ahead and just wrap it around the starter just to keep that heat off the header. I've never had an issue with it, but these are the long tubes. And again, like, I've never had that issue. So it could be, hopefully it was just that starter. But when I would turn the car off running for like this, it wouldn't start back. It wouldn't even try to turn over. So I think it was just overheating that starter, and once everything cooled down, then you could start it again. But that was like once a day, so that was another reason why I didn't drive the car. So that's been fixed. The heater core is fixed finally, so we have heat and AC, which is something you need in these cars. So as you can see, this is the other side. Looks super clean, no issues. The gaskets are all fixed, and the big thing, the interior. The only thing left that I didn't buy at first, just in case I didn't need to, is door panels. As you can see, these are kind of, the sun has gotten to them, but we have new door cup pulls. These as well. I guess they're just the cup pulls too, or whatever. We have an entire new dash. All this is used stuff. So if you're looking for a place to buy used 99 to 04 stuff, just plug in where I got it from. It is blueautoparts.com. Great guy, took care of me. I ordered everything through him, from this to this to this. Like, this is how these all fall apart. This is not coming apart whatsoever. The leather is not separating from the plastic. The dash is from a Cobra. I think everything is actually from a Cobra. The center console, and that side of the door cup pulls, and this door panel, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy the set he has. I messaged him actually today. Brand new mirror as well, because the sun does separate. I think they're a double-sided mirror or something like that, or glass. So right here, as you can see, it's actually started a little bit, but the sun gets it and they kind of start to separate. The one, here it is, here's my factory one, because Mike left the parts in here just in case I wanted them. You can see how the sun has basically just separated this, but that's just gonna go in the trash anyways. That's, let's see, I think this is the old, yeah, this is the old one. So I replaced the sun visors too. Super clean. I just wanted the interior, like I talked about in previous videos. If you've seen, I ranted on how I just wanted the interior to look super clean. I've had the carbon fiber, I've had the painted silver, you know, stuff to match. I've already been through all that. The carbon fiber overlay didn't do that because you got to separate the glass, so I might do that later, or just keep it with the silver. I kind of like the silver. It's still like, just looks kind of, you know, neat or clean or whatever. The only issue I had was I got sent from Blue Auto to right side, and I looked at the picture and it showed two right side visors, so I think it was just a mistake. So this is the driver's side, and you can see that's why I wanted to order another one, because it kind of works but it doesn't. So emailed him, no issues. Guy takes care of you. He has enormous parts for any of these cars. Great service, fair prices. So that's just me plugging him. He definitely took care of me. So again, if you're looking for interior parts like this and how super clean the dash is and everything, when I saw the dash, when I went to pick it up yesterday and Mike showed me, it looks horrible. It's not even worth selling. But everything is just not sun faded. We have the Eibach rear sway bar here. So gonna switch my ST suspension one out and replace that, along with the exhaust and the I have currently the Team Z control arms on it, but they are the spherical ones or whatever, the double jointed ones, so they make noise when you, not super noisy, but I don't want the extra noise, so I bought the UPR ones, which are just as good, and they have those polyurethane bushings, so it'll reduce that sound a little bit going over it. So that's all going to be done, and I'm just probably going to post that stuff to sell just to make a little money back, because I'm not going to keep this stuff. So that is what has gone on so far with this car, and I'm trying to think of anything else. We've already gone over everything. If you're new to the channel, I've had a lot of people subscribe because of like the military videos. I will be posting more of those if you're here for that. Yes, I'm in the Army, and we do some cool stuff, and I sometimes get to venture out and do some cool stuff. If you are in the military or in the Army, I'm at 88 Hotel, so that gives you a little background of what I do and transportation out of Fort Eustis. So I live in Richmond, Virginia, but it's like an hour away. So there you go. There's a coverage. This is, if you, like I said, if you're new to the channel, this is a Coyote swapped 2001 Mustang with a 2015 Coyote engine in it, paired with a T56 out of an 03 Cobra. I think everything is basically out of an 03 Cobra at this point, all the interior. And the biggest thing that I talked about before I left, I think, I went ahead and bought an LRX, which is almost kind of similar to the N-Gage a little bit, through Lund Racing. So this car, hopefully this week, I'll have enough time to pull the laptop out, email them in the ticket system, and get this thing data logged. And NA Tune, to explain it super quickly, NA Tune is not going to change how, like, add a bunch of horsepower to this car. So if you don't know anything about tuning and stuff like that, this is just my knowledge base of what I know. It's just going to make the car perform better as like a better driving experience. You're not going to like get that power and all that stuff. Like if you live the NA life or whatever, that's cool. I've been there, done that. This car is going to get boosted with a blower. That's the reason I went with the cowl hood anyways, because the other hood didn't have the clearance, I believe, under. So I was just like, I'll go ahead and bite the bullet, get this, so I don't have to do that later. I'm thinking maybe like a 2.3 Whipple or something, slap that on there, then I won't have to buy another hood or something like that and wait for that, so everything can just all be done at once. Then we're going to finish the interior with the door panels, and that's really it for the interior. I think I might lower the car a little bit, exhaust, suspension, and that's really it. Get the car painted and try to attend maybe Mustang Week. Not even really thinking about that right now. Just more like in the future. Like I said, this summer I'm going to hunt down a S550 in the silver color like this. It's called Ignot Silver, I-G-N-O-T, I think, Ignot, or however you pronounce it. And I want to have just basically the best of both worlds, and we're going to start that new project because this one is on the way out of being finished. So the boost might come this fall, like that's going to be a later, because it's, you know, it's still expensive. There's no sponsors for this car, and that's fine. But I'd rather just kind of do it on my own, and, you know, once that all happens, it's kind of, to me, it's just appreciated more if you kind of just build this along by yourself. But I appreciate every single one of you guys that has stopped by to check out this car and how far it's come since maybe 2017 when I started this small channel, and, you know, stuck around with this car. It's been through so many phases, and I keep with it, so I love it. You know, it's not the most best looking car, and it's a little mismatched here and there, but it definitely shows, you know, I have the patience to stay with it. So I think that's going to be it for the Mustang. I think I've covered everything. The only other thing I can think of is eventually we're going to get retrofitted headlights again on this. Driving it last night when I went to pick it up, I have the Diode Dynamics fog lights and headlight bulbs in it, so both kits, they're good, but they're, you know, they suck. It's I don't think it's the company itself, it's just the Mustangs. The old dark ages of Ford were not good with the lighting. So when I had retrofits, it changed the entire world. And then now we're gonna hop over to the 4Runner. So you've made it to the end of this video. I appreciate you kind of just catching up with me into this. It's been a while. I'm gonna start making more videos. I actually bought a GoPro, the newest one, I think it's the 12 or whatever. So I'm gonna start making videos on that, so the content will be a lot better or a lot clearer. Instead of using just my phone, I use my iPhone 14 Pro Max. The camera's not bad, but I kind of wanted to get back into filming with a camera, so I bought the whole kit with the selfie stick and then the microphone and all that. So maybe we'll try to do an intro or something. So I'm trying to just get this channel going more subscribers, and just, you know, not to be a big channel, but something to kind of like people can tune in and follow these builds, because I enjoy making them, and I'm, you know, going to keep buying these cars. So the news on the 4Runner is, as I was talking about the retrofitted headlights, I had the retrofitted headlights for the 4Runner, the taillights, and I haven't put the taillights in yet, and the only reason is because I have that backup camera with the Kenwood radio that was put in December, and I was going to do it, but then I remembered that there's, I don't know where the wiring is or which wire that they plugged into on which taillight, so when you hit reverse, it signals that channel to flip to the backup screen, so I didn't want to mess that up. And I've done retrofitted headlights before, but there's a company, or not a company, but well, I guess it is a company, but there's a shop called Ironwood Automotive in Richmond, Virginia, that did all the work on the 4Runner. They did such a fantastic job, and the owner of it, Aaron, and they definitely take care of you. They specialize in Lexus, Honda, Acura, and Toyota, but they are big 4Runner fans. They own them, so I'm just going to let them, I'm dropping it off this week on the 15th to get the headlights and this little overlay gauge, because they, like this car, when I replaced the LEDs, the factory gauge lighting sucks. You can see, but it's not that great. It's still an older vehicle to know too. So I got that, and then I've already bought the drop diff spacer, the sway bar front end links or whatever for the 4Runner, the polyurethane bushings that I needed, and what else was it? Oh, the 1-inch brake hoses. So when you lift the 4Runner, they always recommend that you extend the brake hoses, and I did the front and rear, so I bought those. And now I just have to buy the upper control arms. I'm deciding whether if I want to do the Total Chaos or the JBAs, and then I'm going to do a Dobinson 2.5 IMS kit all around. So that's going to be the next thing to do. So this month we'll probably be buying that and setting up to get the 4Runner lifted and all that finished up. I have the Baja rack I'm actually going to have them put on as well. So I was going to attempt to do it, but I just don't have time. So I'm already dropping it off, so I'm not in a rush. Like, I just need to get it on there. But I will make a video once all this stuff is done, that will be on there. And they actually, when I was gone, they did my girlfriend's 4Runner, which I'll probably just make in the same video talking about mine. They went ahead and lifted it. They added the Muramoto, I think it is, headlights and fog lights, trimmed the bumper, the tire stopped rubbing. It is lifted pretty much like 3 inches all the way around with the Bilstein, I think it's 61 something kit, and the Bilstein upper control arms with the Icon springs in the rear. So they took care of that. They took care of the lighting. They did everything. It looks so good. It's as it should have been. We had talked about it 2 years ago, lifting that 4Runner, and now we're just moving and doing stuff. So that's why I want to, you know, that's why I bought the GoPro, and that's why I'm doing more videos, probably at least twice a week. I'll try to do a schedule, and this is a longer video, but this is to catch up, to get you guys caught up on everything. So I appreciate it. If, like I said, if you made it to the end of this video or just watched it, thank you. And I will catch you guys later in the next video. I'm going to drive this home, and yeah, have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. And I hope these sound just as good as this. I'm not getting rid of the Borla, but the exhaust sounds really good. And I bought the whole kit just one instead of doing the Borla, because that shit's like $900 now.